a lot of speculation, of course, at the moment about who will be the next permanent manager at Arsenal. According to the bookies, Carlo Ancelotti at 7-4, along with Mikel Arteta. Lundberg to get it permanently at 8. Patrick Vieira at 12-1. Rafa Benitez at 12-1 as well. It's interesting because obviously the interest apparently has cooled off regarding Ancelotti and coming Arsenal coach. Jules wrote earlier in the week, sources have told ESPN Ancelotti does not fit the profile of a manager Arsenal are looking for, while they're not convinced by his most recent experiences. However you look at it, and it hasn't been too bad, is it, for Carlo Ancelotti and his recent experiences. Second with Napoli, of course, won the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, won the Champions League with Real Madrid. So what is it with
I don't think Arsenal are convinced they know what they're looking for. But that's a different story. They might say they are, but nothing they've done in recent years has been convincing. In fact, it's been quite the opposite.
Has he lost his coaching mojo?
No. Sometimes this little run that he's having can happen. I personally think he's a good manager, right? He seems to me, from the outside, the kind of manager that players do want to play for. But for whatever reason, right club, wrong time, whatever, it's just not quite happened for him recently. That being said, and I do think he's been an excellent manager, his CV will tell you that. I don't think he's a fit for Arsenal in the current circumstances. I think if Arsenal Football Club were at a different juncture with a pretty good squad and a manager they didn't want to have and wanted to change the manager, but the playing squad was a lot better than it is now, then possibly, but not where they are in terms of a full rebuild. I just don't see the two of them being a good fit in this scenario.
So who does fit?
To be honest with you, they either go for somebody younger or they go for a more pragmatic approach, and that would be, in my opinion, that would be Rafa Benitez.
Right.
That's more pragmatism.
I'm with Craig in that I continue to believe that Ancelotti is an incredible manager. His recent experiences, though, have been more short-term than I think is required at Arsenal, which is about the only thing in that statement from Arsenal that makes any sense. But if you are talking about maybe long-term, please know to Freddie Lundberg, I'm kind of leaning Patrick Vieira. I know he hasn't set the world alight at Nice, but he knows the club. He certainly will have a longer honeymoon period than most, and is young enough to at least see this rebuild through, because it's going to take quite a rebuild for Arsenal to get back amongst the elites.
Frank, what do you think?
Well, I'm really fond of Mr. Ancelotti, but I think there is a time sometimes to think about retiring. You know, he won everything, he did everything, and maybe there is a place for somebody else. And he's a fantastic guy. You know, I met him a couple of times, and he's a real fantastic person. But I think Arsenal needs a big picture. He needs a picture like Frank Lampard at Chelsea, like at the time Guardiola for Barcelona. And I will go with Shaka. I think Patrick Vieira, and I see his work, you know, week in, week out with Nice, what he achieved. The relationship with the board at Nice is not that good, that he could be the man for Arsenal. He was a fantastic player, the captain of that squad after Tony Adams, and I'm sure he knows the football, he knows the house, and he will do great for Arsenal.
Gab Marcotti, of course, is best friends with Carlo Ancelotti. What do you think?
Well, first of all, since I occasionally report and speak to people too, I can confirm what Joel said. I kind of take issue with the idea that interest in Ancelotti has cooled. Ancelotti had a job until nearly midnight on Tuesday night, and these bookie numbers, where he's still the favorite, by the way, are from Friday. So it's not as if Arsenal were thinking about Ancelotti and now they don't. They want to go in a different direction unless they change their mind in 24 hours. My understanding is Arsenal's plan all along is to hope that Ljungberg can see them through the end of the season and then see where they are. And in the meantime, sound out other candidates. The lads are right. It's got a lot to do with the type of club or the type of journey Arsenal want to go on. They have a bunch of veteran players under contract, and Ancelotti would fit that. But equally, if they think they can move them out, and they're looking for more of a longer-term rebuild, they're probably best served going for somebody Patrick Vieira or indeed Mikel Arteta, who who my understanding is the front runner, if there can be such a thing, when in fact, they haven't even they haven't even fully decided yet or even really moved this forward at the time being. As for Ancelotti, look, I mean, different reasons why he left his jobs, different circumstances. I think he's a tremendous manager for the right club.
Passive-aggressive dig at Jules there, Gab. We all got that, don't worry. Just a reminder, it is 3rd against 9th, Arsenal against City. Let's take a look at how the bookies have this one set going into Sunday's tie. Arsenal 5-1 at home to win against the defending champions. City, meanwhile, 9-4 on. Frank, let's start with you, shall we? How do you see this game going? What's the score going to be?
Well, I think I see a win for City. They have to. They are under pressure, and Arsenal is not getting well. So, yeah, I go for a win, 2-0 for City.
Gab?
Ditto. I got City winning 2-0 for all the reasons Frank said.
There you go.
Arsenal haven't beat City since 2015 in the league. And previous to beating West Ham, a hapless West Ham a few days ago, had 1 in 9. And I know City are far from the best. However, it's hard to put an argument up for Arsenal, I think. So City win.
What's the score going to be?
Don't get too cute.
What do you mean? You've just given us all those wonderful stats.
Yeah.
What's the
City
score?
win. Shaq. What's the score? I don't remember the score. City win.
3-0 City. I don't get any cuter than that.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.